had proceeded to fidget in place after saying that. It was quite obvious that he had a lot more to say.
I mean, only if you want to hear more of this kind of stuff tonight. We can just talk more tomorrow if it's too much right now. I mean, I've probably kept you up all night anyways.
Dedede sputtered out, knowing it was obviously too late and Escargoon was probably tired.
No, it's fine. I won't lie. I took a long nap before the party. Not to mention, I missed staying up like this.
Escargoon admitted softly, looking out the balcony. Dedede looked down at Escargoon, wondering why he had missed it.
I didn't stay up like this when I had left. I always just went to sleep early, 'cause school and stuff. What you would find boring, sire.
Escargoon smirked a bit, looking up at Dedede, joking just a little.
I missed being up late with you. I almost wanted you to somehow be there to wake me up for one of your dumb reasons.
Escargoon confessed, looking out again. Dedede stared at Escargoon longingly. He had felt bad he couldn't be there for him at those moments.
Guessing you missed me as much as I missed you.
Dedede muttered softly. Escargoon smiled sadly in return.
Yeah, life wasn't the same without you. I'm just happy to be here, home with you. If it were my choice, I would never let this night end.
Escargoon said as he continued to look at the night sky. Dedede wanted to hold his hand again, but hesitated a bit.
Goonie, there is one thing I have to tell you tonight, then. I have to get it off my chest.
Dedede sputtered, sounding nervous. More nervous than Escargoon ever would, which was odd for the king, obviously. Escargoon noticed how odd it was the moment he looked at him, but pretended like he didn't notice.
Well, we have tons of time tonight, so you can tell me whenever you want.
Escargoon calmly answered, staring out at the night sky. Dedede nervously fidgeted once more before beginning to speak again.
When you left, it had me thinking a lot about you. Not just the way I treated you, but other things about us as well.
Dedede stuttered, trying to keep his cool.
I started thinking about how you would hug me when you're scared, and how you would take care of me like I was so special, and I just...
Dedede attempted to admit something, but just couldn't get the words out. He was stuttering and sweating as he was. A mess. Escargoon kept noticing it, but didn't want to call it out and make it worse.
Yes, I acted like that back then, and I still would. What about it?
Escargoon asked, now really curious as to why Dedede was acting like this. Dedede looked away from Escargoon, shyly now scratching the back of his head.
What I'm trying to say is, throughout that time of us being together every single day, there was something I wanted to tell you, and I didn't. And I regret just not opening my trap to just tell you this.
Dedede turned to Escargoon and gently took his hand. He took a deep, shaky breath.
Escargoon, I think I'm in love with you.
Dedede confessed, looking into Escargoon's eyes, having trouble keeping his eyes on him.
No, I don't think I am. I know I am, and I have been for a long time. I hope you feel the same.
Dedede let out, sounding more nervous than he ever had. A noticeable blush had grown on the penguin's face. Dedede was even shaking out of how nervous he was for Escargoon's response. Escargoon was shocked. He had never thought this would happen. Dedede confessing to him? He always thought it would be the other way around. Escargoon felt his cheeks heat up and fast, same for the tears now running down his face. This time, though, they were not sad tears. They were the type of tears that were not uncommon when he was around Dedede. The happiest kind.
I love you too, sire.
Escargoon let out before holding Dedede's hands back tightly, reassuring him everything was okay. Dedede began to feel himself tear up again.
If I'm being honest with you, I did not expect to cry this much tonight,
Dedede said, softly wiping his own eyes on his robe. Escargoon suddenly went in to hug him, which surprised Dedede a bit, but he ended up hugging the snail back regardless.
I loved you back then too. A lot, sire. I was scared he would find out back then and, well, make fun of me.
Escargoon empathized as he held onto Dedede as tight as he could, just enjoying this moment as much as he could. Dedede spoke up again, pulling Escargoon a bit so he could look at him.
Make fun of you? I wouldn't do that to you. You feel into something you can't change, Goonie. Same for me too, in this case.
Dedede smiled, looking at Escargoon. this close made him so happy, especially the fact that Escargoon was smiling.
I was just worried that you would. I thought you'd call me weird or something for it.
Escargoon chuckled, tears still running down his face. Dedede wiped them off of Escargoon's eyes.
I can't call you weird for that. I felt like that too.
Dedede spoke softly, gently caressing his cheek with one hand. Escargoon began to chuckle and then sunk into his hand a bit.
I never thought I would be able to ever be near you like this.
Escargoon muttered, letting himself practically sink into Dedede's hand as his eyes shut. The blush on Dedede's got much bigger at seeing this. Escargoon's face blushed just as hard. Dedede actually had trouble doing anything at that moment except looking at Escargoon. Escargoon opened his eyes to see Dedede's eyes locked on him. Escargoon smiled in return.
You can't look away, can you?
The snail asked shyly. Dedede shook his own head to try to not be so entranced by how cute the mollusk was.
It's hard to, but I can.
Dedede stuttered as he looked away from Escargoon. Escargoon laughed before hugging him once more.
You big softy. I knew you would fall in love sometime, Dedede. I'm just happy you fell in love with me.
Escargoon spoke as he buried himself into the crook of Dedede's neck as he hugged him. Dedede smiled before hugging him back. Dedede had thought, as he held him close. He had been told since he was a kid, life is short, fall in love. He had even thought for a while he had lost that so-called love he thought he'd found. But in the end, through all the good and bad times, here it was, the love he always wanted in his arms, holding him close. Not ever wanting to let go. Dedede just smiled more, letting himself cry as much as he needed to. This was his moment. Their moment at that. They deserved to just sit there and enjoy it for as long as they wanted. Everything the two could ever want or need was there, and it wasn't going anywhere. Not ever again.